Okay. Hey, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Jessica Blum here, joining you just after 3 a.m. Monday, last day of June. We do have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings out there. A lot of lightning may be waking you up too. They're kind of enclosing on Kearney. Grand Island just included a new severe thunderstorm warning. And you can see Hastings is on the edge of one. Largely more of a wind threat that I've been watching so far this morning. So we've got Buffalo, Hall, Howard, Sherman counties in a severe thunderstorm warning for another 35 minutes until 3:45 for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. 5 minutes ago, this thunderstorm was located over Ravenna, or 23 miles north of Kearney, moving east at 35 miles an hour. So that is the information on this severe thunderstorm warning. And then we've got another one to the south of that, larger severe thunderstorm warning box. So we've got Webster County, Northern Franklin County, Southeastern Phelps County, Adams County, Kearney County, and Southeastern Buffalo County. This also in effect until 3:45 this morning for up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This thunderstorm was located near Axtell, or 12 miles south of Kearney, moving east at 35 miles an hour as well. So just 2 severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment, and this largely looks like it's been a wind threat for the last couple hours or so. But you've got storms here moving south and east. Oops. So you've got these storms moving south and east, and then you've had some building to the south, and these are all kind of drifting eastward. So is Lincoln going to see a lot from this? Maybe not. This has largely been diving to the south and east, and then the severe threat will with it as well. So as you're waking up this morning, maybe some lightning seen in the distance from Lincoln. I know Aurora's had a pretty good light show, if I can bring up that view. This is looking south. I know there's been some decent lightning shown from this view. See if we can catch some of it. There we go. There's some of it. So it may get loud with some lightning, some thunder, some heavy rain. And then Grand Island, Kearney, Hastings, you may be in for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In fact, just had a report of 60-mile-per-hour winds reported 5 miles north of Axtell from a personal weather station. So we are seeing 60-mile-per-hour winds out of these storms, but they're just barely severe. There isn't a ton working in their favor to get them to be stronger than this, so I'm really thinking 60-mile-per-hour winds over the next couple hours should do it. The current severe thunderstorm watch has been trimmed, and it only goes until 6 a.m. So we got less than a few hours left on that. And then once these storms clear this morning, the cloud cover will clear throughout the day. We'll see some sunshine. Should be a pretty nice Monday eventually. I got temperatures in the 80s for a high, a little northerly breeze. That is a Kansas observation. But yeah, we've had a couple overnight rounds of storms lately over the weekend. I know we had 35 hundredths of an inch at Lincoln, at the Lincoln Airport for yesterday. And then we'll see what we get from this morning. I don't anticipate it to be a lot. Trying to see, okay. Cool. Yeah, I think I have the high temperature today at 85 degrees for Lincoln. Then we warm up to about the middle 90s toward the end of this week toward the holiday. And there will be some storms possible on the 4th of July and then over 4th of July weekend. Little early to talk about specific details for when those storms will arrive, but something we're going to, of course, keep track of over the course of this week. So you're looking at a radar loop over the last hour. Those of you just joining us, we've got a couple severe thunderstorm warnings out there for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and there's been a lot of lightning. If I pull up the lightning and just show you the bolts with this just on the Nebraska side of things, 343 bolts. It's a lot of lightning. And Aurora's been one of my better views of this, so let me go back to that camera. Ooh, pretty. Looking at some other cameras I have around Lincoln, they haven't been picking up on much. We've got storms to our southwest, though, that have been drifting east. And I'm not really worried about the severe threat for Lincoln. I'm really not. We may get some rain this morning. Severe weather should continue to drift to the south and east. For those just joining, we're in a severe thunderstorm watch until 6 a.m. There could be some isolated instances of some hail with this, but largely what I've seen so far, the warnings have just been for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So I'm just hopping on YouTube really early this morning before we get to our morning show to let you know what's going on out there. But it hasn't been anything too crazy. Just some severe thunderstorm warnings tracking through western Nebraska, now south central Nebraska, and some of this may wake some of you up. So I appreciate you joining me. Hello to the few people out there this morning. Last day of June, if you can believe it. July right around the corner, the week of the 4th. I'll be here all week. I think Rusty works all week too. And we'll have some storms possible by the end of the week too. But after this morning round clears, should be in for a pretty nice last day of June. And then a quiet few days for the middle of this week. Warming. I haven't really looked at the humidity, but I anticipate that's just going to stick around. Summer in Nebraska. Let's see here. I can quickly look at that. Yeah, the humidity drops off throughout the day today. Ooh, should be great Tuesday. We got dew points in the upper 50s. That's nicer than we've been in a while. And then the humidity comes back Wednesday, Thursday, the end of this week. But today, tomorrow, easy transition into July for sure. Alright, so for those of you maybe just joining, I have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings out there. Grand Island is within one, but you haven't seen the storms yet. They're pushing in from the south and east. And it goes until 3:45, so we got a little less than a half an hour on that north warning you see highlighted. And then here's the information for Kearney and Hastings on the edge of this south one. Up to 60-mile-per-hour winds with both of these thunderstorm warnings. And that second one also goes until 3:45 for Adams, Franklin, Kearney, and Webster counties. And then you can see the southern branch of these storms just kind of drift into the east. I think we'll see maybe a little rain here in Lincoln again, but yeah, I'm not expecting severe weather for us really. Storms need to chill as I need to get Rusty down here for some golf. Good morning, Adam. Some golf sounds nice right about now. These storms do kind of need to chill. 2 overnight rounds in a row is kind of crazy, but we had Dominic on over the weekend for the first time. Houston had a weekend off. And I think it was great for Dominic to have a weekend by himself, and he's of course had his fair share of some severe weather first starting out. Alright, we just had a report of a 54 mile per hour wind gust 4 miles north of Kearney, so that's just below severe limits. Severe winds to get a severe thunderstorm warning need to be anticipated at 58 mile per hour or higher, so that's just below that. But these storms have been capable so far of up to 60 mile per hour winds. And we're getting some new information on the southern warning. As you can see, it's blinking. Okay. This storm for now is located over Norman, or 20 miles southeast of Kearney, moving east at 35 miles an hour. 60 mile per hour winds are still the main threat. Pretty slow moving storms overall. But yeah, 3/35 of an inch in Lincoln at the airport yesterday. We are now up to 4.36 inches for the month of June, which is about 1.25 inches below average for the month. For the year, about 9.25 inches of precipitation. We're still about 5.9 inches below average here in Lincoln, so we could really use some rain. Stayed up in case I needed to get cars put away, but looking like the crazy stuff will maybe miss me in North York County. Yeah, I think so, Adam. These storms are starting to drift a little bit more east, but it's really been winds. It hasn't been too much for a hail concern. Okay, in Kearney, we did just have a measured wind gust up to 60 miles an hour from emergency management. So there you go. That's what's keeping these severe thunderstorm warnings in place, 60 mile an hour winds. Still just marginally severe. We're not talking about anything crazy. It's just going to get loud with some thunder, some heavy rain. Look at all the lightning. There's been so much lightning on these storms. Just a light show. Liz is asking about Hastings. So Hastings is within a severe thunderstorm warning right now for 60 mile per hour winds. That's the main threat. You can see these storms are kind of drifting east. So maybe you saw a little bit of rain, but overall the heaviest rain is just to your west and it's drifting your way. So it may just get windy. Liz, I wouldn't be too concerned about it if you're looking to go to bed. I'd go to bed. If you've still been up. Ooh, Aurora's got some great lightning. This is looking south from Aurora. Let me pull that up, see if some of it shows up for us. My Lincoln cameras haven't been showing too much, because everything's pretty far off to the south and west from Lincoln. Of course, Liz, hope you have a good night of sleep. New week, holiday week for people. I know a lot of people have been traveling. I just got back from a trip out to western Nebraska this weekend. Boy, I-80 just takes a lot of patience to go west down I-80 in the state of Nebraska. Sometimes I need a little more patience on the interstate, but just some crazy drivers. I'm sure a lot of people, I saw, of course, a lot of campers. Well, have a good morning. I'm going to bed. Okay, good night, Adam. Before it gets hot the rest of this week, for sure. For sure. Any idea how much power outages there are right now? I haven't heard any. I don't think I would be too worried about a power outage for anybody. Have you heard anything, Ray? I haven't gotten any reports of any power outages. That's a Kansas storm report. Site Six Toes Feed and Seed. What a name. Reports a 58 mile per hour wind gust down in Hoxie, Kansas. We get some Kansas storm reports too because of Goodland. The National Weather Service out of Goodland mainly, and even actually the National Weather Service out of Hastings covers some Kansas counties. Holdridge just had a wind gust up to 58 miles per hour on the backside of storms. So even once some of the heavier precipitation comes through, still some gusty winds coming through. But that's all I've been seeing so far this morning. So let me get back to radar. Sorry, we've been sitting on Aurora for a little while. But this is the last hour or so. A lot of rain just south of the border too. There was a tornado warning not too long ago in portions of northwestern Kansas, just the north and west of Hayes, but that has been allowed to expire. Nothing in Nebraska for tornado warnings. We weren't expecting that really overnight. Just some gusty winds, maybe a little bit of hail, but even the hail threat, I really haven't seen a warning for any hail anytime soon over the last couple hours, so not too worried about that. Alright. So yeah, I just got back from a trip from western Nebraska. Gosh, the humidity was less out that way. Felt like a vacation getting away from some of the humidity we have here in southeast Nebraska at this time of the year. And it only gets kind of worse July, August with, of course, some of the corn sweat we can see. But today should be a nice day. I'm looking forward to today. Once these storms clear out of here, highs in the 80s, humidity dropping throughout the day, and a north breeze. Doesn't sound bad to me at all. Printer has been going off a lot though, and that is because we just had a new severe thunderstorm warning. 60 mile per hour winds. If you see what's blinking there in the middle, kind of covering some middle ground here. Let me get the information on that new guy. This was just issued. This is the guy I'm going to be talking about. Alright, severe thunderstorm warning for northern Adams County, southeastern Buffalo, and southern Hall County until 3:45. This thunderstorm was located near Gibbon, or 13 miles northeast of Kearney, moving east at 35 miles an hour with the main threat of 60 mile per hour winds. Alright, in Buffalo County, 7 miles northwest of Gibbon, Nebraska, just had a severe thunderstorm wind gust. I guess this one isn't severe, just under severe limits. A 56 mile an hour wind reported by a personal weather station. So that's that guy. I'm going to zoom out and then show you. Alright, here's the watch. Again, we're within the severe thunderstorm watch for south central Nebraska until 6 a.m. this morning. I do not anticipate much to get added over here. So if you're watching from Lincoln, Beatrice, nearby, York isn't even included in this, Seward isn't included in this right now, and I don't really anticipate much to be added to it. So I think we're in the clear for severe weather. We may get some rain here in Lincoln between, I don't know, 8 a.m., just in around the beginning of the morning commute. But then things clear out throughout the morning. The clouds clear through the morning. And then by the afternoon, especially late afternoon, plenty of sun. Temperatures warning to the mid-80s. Actually, yesterday we got to a high of 85 in Lincoln, so that's what I got anticipated for today. So much of what we saw yesterday should be similar, but I think no, winds were out of the north yesterday too. I guess with the morning round of storms. So should see more of that today. Some northerly winds to keep things feeling pretty good. I'm probably gonna stay on for another, I don't know, 15 minutes to a half hour before I'm gonna finalize some stuff for the morning show and then be on air, of course, on ABC from 5 to 7 a.m. this morning. And I'll have to talk to my producers in the meantime, get them ready for the show, but we are looking pretty good. Even though there's some severe thunderstorm warnings out there, they're only for 60-mile-per-hour winds, so barely at severe criteria. Just some heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and some wind. Alright, starting to see a little more lightning show up on the Lincoln cameras. Let's get Honda pulled up. This is looking southwest from the south side of Lincoln, South 27th and Yankee Hill Road. And I've seen a few flashes in the distance. Nothing crazy though. If you're up right now, nothing crazy. On an early Monday morning, the last day of June. So we're just kind of chilling, watching these storms. Beatrice, you're gonna see some rain here soon. You can see these drift into the east. So Hebron, Tobias seeing some of that rain. Kearney's seeing a lot of rain. Now these storms are trying to build toward Grand Island a little more. Wouldn't be surprised if Ravenna saw maybe a little bit of some smaller hail in there. Seeing some of those darker reds and some pinks. Could be a little hail in there, but nothing too concerning really. So I'm gonna start to get a little more ready for the morning show. Anybody have any more questions while you're up? Everybody have a good weekend? I know I just said I was out in western Nebraska. I was out in Sydney. About 5-6 hour drive with stops. And if y'all know, Ollie's, I think is how it's pronounced. The steakhouse in Paxton, Nebraska. Love. I first went there when I was storm chasing with UNL. Right after college for a summer, or for a few months into the summer. Just such good steak. Good food. So I stopped there on my way and then stopped by Lake McConaughey because I really hadn't taken the time to see it in person. And it's so beautiful out there. Tons of people, of course, on the lake enjoying the weekend. But yeah, I went out to Sydney. One of my best friends lives out there that I met in college. And she, over the last couple summers, she got married and now she's about to have a baby. So we had a baby shower out in Sydney this weekend. That was just great. It was awesome. Get to see her family, see some of our friends. Good time. But yeah, if you're just joining me, not too much going on. If I've got time to share some personal stories. Had a lot of reports and everything printed off, but overall things have been barely severe overnight. And I do not anticipate a lot for Lincoln. Ray is saying hello from Hawaii. I hope you have a good week too, Ray. Appreciate you tuning in. I am a meteorologist in Lincoln, Nebraska, so I really just care about Nebraska things going on, but kind of been watching what's been going on in Kansas too, because there was a couple tornado warnings Not at the same time, but for some of these storms on their side of things. Now you can see just east of Wichita, flash flood warning too. I wanted to make time to go through Grand Island on my way back from Sydney to see how the flooding or how some of those waters receded, but I just did not have time to do that. I think things are faring a lot better though out that way than they were, of course, late last week after all that rain came through. Let's see. Record high temperatures are in the lower 100s right now. And I say that because we are not anticipating any record or nearing record temperatures anytime soon. We're in the 80s today, for the most part tomorrow, and then the end of this week gets hotter with temperatures in the middle 90s and some storm chances in around the 4th of July on the day of the 4th, and then I think over this weekend too. Some scattered storms, so we're going to keep an eye on that to get some more information throughout this week as we get closer. Tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, a low of 59 degrees. Doesn't that sound nice? Ooh, a cooler night certainly sounds good, because by the end of this week, when we're back in the middle 90s, we'll have overnight lows in the 70s, which is just summer in Nebraska, but it's nice when you can get a cooler night around here. So if you are just joining us, got a few severe thunderstorm warnings out there, largely for 60-mile-an-hour winds. You can see these cover, I mean, at least 70 to 75 miles of real estate from north to south in south central Nebraska. Grand Island has yet to see, even though they've been in the severe thunderstorm warning, they haven't had much to see from this just yet. And even the heaviest rain looks like it's sliding southeast, at least in the last couple radar frames. So I'm actually going to take a quick second to go talk to my producers about the morning show, and then I'll be back. So give me a couple minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, I am back. Printer went off while I was gone. Nothing important. Something else from the printer. Okay, we just had a 61 mile per hour wind gust observed 4 miles west-southwest of Minden from a personal weather station. So these storms still are producing 60-mile-an-hour winds, but that's been the main threat so far overnight. I just got back from talking to my producer for the morning show, let her know kind of what the plan is for the morning show. But yeah, if you're just joining me, not anticipating much for Lincoln. This is largely sliding to the south, a little bit to the east still. You can see there's a little bit more building just south of I-80, south of York. There's been a lot of lightning. So it may get wet in and around the morning commute or just the start of the morning commute. But then things clear out throughout the morning for the clouds, and then we see more sun for the second part of the day today. Kind of like a Hawaii forecast, actually. Ray just tuning in from Hawaii. A little rain in the morning, a little afternoon sun. Why not? I wish some of this would slide a little bit further east so we could see some more rain here in Lincoln, because I feel like with each round we've just been getting bare minimum amounts of rain compared to everybody else. Certainly wasn't the amount of rain that Grand Island has seen, and we're thankful for that because that was too much rain at once. But that's just the nature of Nebraska. You're not going to get what you want. Sometimes it just feels like too much all at once or not enough at all. And there really isn't an in-between. And with the true nature of summer thunderstorms, they are largely hit and miss in who gets a lot of rain and who doesn't get too much rain. So if anybody has any questions, you want to talk to me, or you just want to chat, let me know. I was going to bring up Beatrice. I'm starting to see a little lightning in the distance from Beatrice. See if I can pull this up. Maybe I can't pull up this camera at the same time. These cameras are tricky. Sometimes I've got to be... Gotta work around to get some of these cameras to pull up. Come on. Alright, we'll give that one a second. There's Honda, south side of Lincoln. Let's see what Aurora's looking like. Should look more west from Aurora. Let me try to move this camera real quick. Lightning to the west. You're looking south of Aurora right now. Ooh, that was pretty good. Let's move this west. Alright, that's west of Aurora. You can see some of the lightning in the distance, for sure. Not too much rain in Aurora. There's some rain on the south side of the county in Hamilton, but yeah. We've got a few severe thunderstorm warnings still out there. Actually, I think each of these are about to expire in a couple minutes. And if they do, we won't really have much after that. Yeah, each of these go until 3:45 in the morning, and they're all for 60-mile-per-hour winds. I say that, and here's a new severe thunderstorm warning. Hello, Nick and James blogs. Alright, so what you see blinking on your screen, that's the new severe thunderstorm warning. It does include Hastings. Ooh, and Grand Island, I think. Yep. So this is what's going to replace the other ones that are about to expire in a couple minutes. So this will look cleaner in a couple minutes. But Adams, Buffalo, Hall, Kearney counties, you are within a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30 now. The main threat being 60-mile-an-hour winds. This severe thunderstorm was located along a line extending from near Bolus? I've never seen that town name before. To near Shelton, to near Hartwell, moving east at 30 miles an hour. These have been some slow-moving storms. These storms will be near Wood River, Kennesaw, Cairo around 3:45 this morning, Prosser around 3:50, Juanita and Alda around 4. But Grand Island, Hastings, Doniphan, Hanson, you're all included in that new severe thunderstorm warning. But yeah, just some gusty winds, a lot of lightning, some heavy downpours at times is all we're really looking at. And there's about a minute left on the other severe thunderstorm warnings. So they're all about to clear here in just a minute. So we have had several reports of 55 to 60 mile an hour winds here recently, so still getting confirmation that this storm is worth a severe thunderstorm warning. There you see the other ones have just been cleared. So we just have this one severe thunderstorm warning. There have been storms out in front of all of this. There you see it moving east. Fairbury might be in for some heavy rain. Maybe small hail, but nothing worth a severe thunderstorm warning lately. Lincoln, I'm not anticipating a whole lot of rain through the morning. I'm not really anticipating a severe threat for us. Really, the severe threat continues to dive to the south and east through the morning. And then we see clearing the rest of the day today. So it's just what we got here early today. For those just joining, this is what's left of the severe thunderstorm watch until 6 a.m. And I'm not anticipating much to be added to it to the east. So it's really for those that are within it right now that there continues to be a severe threat, but barely a severe threat. We're talking 60 mile an hour winds is all really. Throw the lightning back on. I'm looking at our cameras. Let's see if I can get Beatrice pulled up. Oh, probably not, because I just pulled that back up. See, there's a screen that I need to look at all of the cameras, and if I have that pulled up while I'm trying to bring up some of these cameras, they will not show. And then I need to give it a second before they can show. So that's what's going on there. That's why Beatrice won't show up. Because you can't pull from that source in too many locations, if that makes sense. So it is just before 4 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Last day in June. I'm pretty tired. I know my shift is just starting, but yeah, I had a trip out to western Nebraska. Got back yesterday afternoon. And it was a quick trip. It was a quick turnaround to go out to western Nebraska for just not even a full day. But always worth a trip out to western Nebraska. I love western Nebraska. I love the sights out there. I love the people out there. I-80 is not my favorite thing going west, but I think that was the best thing. I was talking earlier about how I took time to stop in Paxton for their steakhouse. I think it's Ollie's. I don't know how to say it actually, but and then I stopped in Lake Mac, and then maps took me, I think it was Highway 30 from Ogallala towards Sydney, so that was really nice instead of going that last branch of I-80. And then the time change always messes with me when I go out to western Nebraska, because I had a baby shower to be at, and I had to time out the time that started versus our time in eastern Nebraska, and then try to time out how long it was going to take me to get there. So I did have some time to kill, because I made good time getting out to western Nebraska, and then timed it up to be there just in time. So, sorry. If you guys can hear me talking about personal things, we're clearly not too worried about the severe threat going on right now, but large area of some heavy rain from south central Nebraska into north central Kansas. Largely everything is drifting to the south and east, but we've had some of these storms out front of what's severe Warren just kind of drifting east. So if I zoom in on Grand Island, Hastings, yeah, Shelton's starting to see the rain really pick up. Grand Island's still waiting on it. This is a loop over the last hour to kind of give you perspective. And storms have been drifting just east at 30 miles an hour. Usually storm oceans are up in the 40 to 50 mile an hour range. That's kind of what I think is normal, so 30 is a little slower. What I'm really interested in is our next drought monitor update. That should come by Thursday this week, and that'll factor in last week's rain for some that got 6, 7, 8 inches from Grand Island up through Merrick, Nance, Platte counties. And then it'll factor in this rain too. It factors in rain from the previous week up until Tuesday, and then the map's released Thursday. So we'll get what rain we see through Tuesday, factor that into the next map, and then Rusty and I will probably be showing that for sure on Thursday, because I anticipate a lot to change for it. If you missed it earlier too, I was kind of talking about this week, it being a holiday week. Rusty and I will still be working every day this week. I think Rusty still works 4th of July too. And we've got a team of 4 now. We've got Dominic that just started. When did he start? A couple weeks ago. So he's had full 2 weeks under his belt. He just had his first full weekend. He took over for Houston to have some time off. I don't have any time off until August at this point, but I may take some time off in July. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just tracking some summer storms overnight, early this morning, Monday, July 30th. Those of you that have not gone to bed yet, maybe you're just interested in watching, staying up, getting some information. I'm not worried about the severe threat, so if you're looking to go to bed and getting the go-ahead, by all means. There's just a lot of lightning, some heavy rain that might wake you up, and maybe some gusty winds if you're out toward Grand Island and Hastings, but I keep missing. Okay, let's pull up Beatrice. Those of you that may be interested in Beatrice, let me pull up Beatrice. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, some lightning in the distance. Some rain starting to move in toward Aurora too. Let me pull up Aurora. This is looking west from Aurora. Looks pretty quiet. I know occasionally there's some lightning. Oh, there we go. There's a little bit. Let me see if I can move this. Some of the rain is just sliding south of town, it looks like, and then I'll pull up radar. Alright, that's looking a little more south. It's pretty quiet too. I think our best view's out west. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So that's that. So just one severe thunderstorm warning. I am probably going to be on for another 5 minutes or so, and then I'm probably going to call it quits. There isn't much to track, and I've got to get ready for a morning show. I'll be on with Andrew from 5 to 7 this morning. And we'll kind of go through what rain is passing through. A lot of it's going to slide just to the west of Lincoln. Oh, just had some good lightning on Aurora. Shoot. Sorry, I couldn't show you that, but Yeah, even the intensity on some of this rain has dropped. You can see less red showing up compared to a few hours ago. If I pull up the last few hours, it's the last few hours, you can see more pinks earlier than what we're seeing now. But I haven't had any reports of wind for a while. When was my last report from wind? 3:38. It's about 20 minutes ago. That was a 61 mile an hour wind gust reported out of Minden. So that's good news if the intensity is dropping and some of the rainfall. But with me only being on here another 5 minutes or so, does anybody have any questions? I've done a little bit of the forecast already. I think we, similar to yesterday, Lincoln topped out at 85 degrees. I think that's what I got in the forecast for today. A little northerly breeze after this rain moves through. And again, I wouldn't anticipate a ton for Lincoln, really. We'll see some more sunshine the second part of the day today. And then we get hotter towards the end of this week. We actually have like sunshine, temperatures warming, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's at 95. Friday for the 4th. Some storms will be possible, but I don't have a lot of details on that just yet. I think it's really the second part of the day that those chances increase. But I'll know more, especially as we get Tuesday into Wednesday. That's when some of the shorter range models can go out that far, and we can time it a little better than just looking at long range models. Everyone's been quiet though. Maybe I'm just soothing people to sleep. That's sometimes what I think about at this time of the morning. People are just kind of like, we'll listen in the background. Maybe fall asleep. Maybe do some other things. Yeah, Aurora's getting brighter now. Some of that lightning's getting closer. But yeah, storms are just about ready to roll into Grand Island, toward Hastings. Keep Lincoln in view here too, just so you can kind of get perspective. Those of you watching that aren't from Nebraska, I am a meteorologist out of Lincoln, Nebraska, so that's all I'm going to be covering. If you have any questions about anywhere else, I can try to pull up radar in those locations, but my concern is serving the people of Nebraska. So that's what we're going to talk about through the morning. Probably pull up Aurora for the morning show today, as well as some other views around Lincoln. Get some of these cameras situated to the south and west. Ray saying, great show. Thank you. Good night and good morning. That is about the time of the day we're at. Good night and good morning. Depending on if people are getting up or going to bed or a little bit of both. Sometimes I'm getting storm reports from Kansas too, so that's what just printed, if you heard that. I don't think we really care about that. If anybody does care, just had a 53 mile an hour wind gust reported out of Plainville from a mesonet station. And now, yeah, a little more rain trying to creep up toward York, Seward, and almost to Beatrice. Some of that rain almost to Beatrice now. But yes, Grand Island, Hastings, you're still within that severe thunderstorm warning for another half hour. For winds. wind is the primary threat. Some gusty winds up to 60 miles an hour. Oh, I am blind and I could see the rain as I have to have my phone really close to my face, and that is a lot of rain. It is a lot of rain. We've been needing the rain, but Grand Island certainly saw too much too fast last week. They got about 8 inches in a day, which was just a lot of rain for all at once. In fact, it was the second highest rainfall total in a single day of all time for Grand Island. The highest rainfall total they had was back in 2005. I had a lot of people from Grand Island telling me they remember 2005, so that was comparable to 2005. There's a western facing camera I have here at the station. One of our tower cameras that I think is picking up on some more lightning. See if I can pull that up. Yep, so this is our view from the station, looking west. See if I can get you a little lightning before you go. Oh, just off the screen. It's really Aurora. Alright, let me pull up Aurora. Come on. There we go. There's a little something. Alright, before I leave you guys, again, there's that one severe thunderstorm warning. It goes until 4:30 for up to 60 mile an hour winds. But I'm going to get ready for the morning show. This is what's left of the severe thunderstorm watch until 6 a.m. So a little less than a couple hours left on that. Mainly for the threat of wind. I do not anticipate this gets extended any further east, so I don't think us in Lincoln we're going to go under a severe thunderstorm watch for the morning. We're just going to watch maybe a little rain come in, a little lightning stay off in the distance. The morning commute may be a little wet, so I'd anticipate maybe needing a rain jacket, an umbrella. Take something like that with you for the morning. But you will not need it for the second part of the day today, because we'll see the sun come out after all this kind of passes through. So that's what I got for you this morning. I'm going to end this. Again, the severe threat hasn't been significant whatsoever in the overnight hours, but just enough for me to hop on YouTube, say hello, show you what's been going on, and we'll say until next time. Appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great Monday. Have a great 4th. I don't know if I'll get on YouTube between now and the 4th. Maybe I will, just to help people plan the 4th itself, the day, if we got some storm chances that day. But Nicole, I just watched this complex as I drove from Grant to Imperial, looking towards McCook and North Platte. Yeah, a lot of lightning out that way. I think Imperial had some gusty winds earlier this morning too, Nicole, but I appreciate you. If I'm just catching you, sorry. I gotta get ready for a morning show. I have a 2-hour morning show coming up, so I'm gonna finalize some things for that. Hope you guys all have a great end to your June and the start of July, and a great and safe 4th. Safe travels if people are going places. But I'll be here all week, so. And maybe watch for a new video, maybe by Thursday. Get you ready for the 4th. So, anyways. Good night, good morning. Until next time.